Well, who is Adam on Team Demko?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else is on Team Markey.
Yeah, and so is Travis Green on Markey.
Well, how can you not be?
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Slapshot. 2020 Stanley Cup Finals. It's finally here. It's starting tomorrow night, which is Saturday night. I've got a panel of 4 experts to talk NHL hockey. Stanley Cup Finals 2020. It is here. Let me introduce our guest, Patrick Day. He's our resident NHL handicapper at Pointspreads.ca. He's from St. Louis. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing just fine, Nolan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great advice from you on the NHL so far. Scott Wilson, high-stakes gambler, an expert in in-game betting from Vancouver. I'm so sorry about your Canucks, sir, but nice to have you here, Mr. Wilson.
Pleasure to be here.
Greg, that's all you got to say? Come on, man. You got a lot more to say, I'm sure, in a minute. Greg Mueller, nice to have you, also from Vancouver. He's got that ugly-looking hat on for the Toronto Blue Jays, but he's here. It's his second time on the show. Former professional hockey player, played in Germany. Greg Mueller, FTV, nice to have you with us, sir.
My pleasure. Always love chatting hockey with you, Nolan.
And in the cleanup spot, Mark Lofthouse, played for the Washington Capitals, the Detroit Red Wings, played in the league 12 years, and here he is now. Now all he does is play golf and spend his money. Nice to have you with us, Mark.
I think the money's all spent, but thanks for having me, Nolan. Looking forward to it.
This is going to be a total free-for-all. You're watching us live on Facebook, and if you're not watching us live, you're watching us on Point Spread. Go to spreads.ca, check out the action, get down some action, and we're going to have a great Stanley Cup Finals. Here we go. First question, gentlemen, for our panel. I'll start with you, Lofty, and we'll go around. Question, are you guys shocked, the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning, surprised by this Finals?
I'm not surprised Tampa Bay's in it, but I sure am with Dallas. You know, I think, yeah, they're surprised for sure, 100%. Nobody saw them come out of the West, but, you know, they got a coach that is a player's coach, and I think the guys are just playing relaxed and enjoying it. They got a goalie standing on his head, and they got a pretty good back end, and their offense is, producing enough, barely it looks like, to win games. I think they got outscored by Vegas, but Mules would know more about that.
Mules.
Well, yeah, I'm obviously surprised that Dallas is there. I made a lot of bets with Lofty. One of the bets was with Lofty. It's a must-win Stanley Cup bet, and I took Vegas, and he took Tampa Bay. So, yeah, I can't believe Dallas, especially after Vegas had a bit of a stumble with Vancouver. Vancouver took them to 7 games. I just figured they would start rolling. And beginning of the series, Lofty says, well, I'll take Tampa to win it, and I'll take Vegas to win it, must win. And I'm shocked they lost in 5 games. I'm shocked. But I have to say, truthfully, I think there's some dissension a little bit on that team with the coaching and stuff like that. Like, I know a lot of people, Daniel for one, and a lot of people in Vegas, and they were all Fleury fans. They're all Gallant fans, and DeBoer came in and kind of just ran the show, didn't care, kind of just gave Marc-Andre Fleury a bad treatment. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but very shocked, to say the least, that Dallas is there and not Las Vegas.
You shocked, Scott Wilson?
Well, I was always cheering against Vegas. It's just, you don't want another situation like Quebec and Colorado, where Colorado wins the cup the first year they're in town, and we've been suffering for 49, 50 years. You just don't want to see that. You like to cheer against it. But I really wanted to see a Vancouver-Dallas matchup instead of, as we got closer, because that would have been pretty exciting. I don't know, you needed to be local here to understand why that was interesting, but the ownership group of the Canucks and the ownership group of Dallas are both from Vancouver, and they had made a joint bid for the Vancouver team at the last minute. The Dallas owner kind of got shown the door, and so he ended up buying the Stars. So here he is. So good for him that he's getting some joy out of this run.
What about Tampa Bay?
I'm not surprised to see him. As you said, I mean, the goalie's been standing on his head. It's been incredible. If you watch the locker room shot, in his typical Russian droning fashion, they hand him that big chain for player of the game, and he doesn't have much to say. He just looks at the camera, and it could have been in a Schwarzenegger movie. He just goes, looks at them slyly. We're not going home. Everyone cheers. It was awesome.
That was good. That was good, Scotty.
Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, Patrick Day, you're our resident expert at Pointspreads.ca. You've written some great stuff, by the way, including your forecast. Now, I think I'm going to hold. You had the Flyers. You had the Flyers in the East, I believe. You were wrong on that, so you must have been surprised by Tampa Bay and Dallas, yeah?
I had Washington in the East, and I had Vegas in the West. I'm shocked with the Dallas has made it so far. I didn't think they'd get past the first round with Calgary. I thought they were both Calgary and Dallas looked like two teams that were lost. They had some bad contracts, some bad players, they're just going in two opposite directions, and I didn't like either one of them coming out of that series. I thought they would beat each other up, and they would be, whoever made it out of that first round matchup would get steamrolled. And I was really shocked that Khudobin's playing. I mean, Bishop's a Vezina nominated goaltender. I don't know what's going on with him. I think that there's something. Obviously, there's something they're not addressing him, and to have that type of player out of the playoffs and having Khudobin go through this, man, that's the story of the playoffs right now. Is Khudobin.
Well, if I could just 100%. But so what happened? I think in the beginning was Bishop got hurt, and Khudobin came in and just played out of his mind. Yeah. And then when Bishop came back, they played him in a game against Colorado. I believe it was game 5, and he got shelled. Yeah. Not saying it was his fault or whatever, but they scored 5 goals or 4 goals on him in like 8 minutes.
Yeah, and it looked like he couldn't move.
And then they came back with Khudobin, and he ran with it. And in playoff hockey, there is a number 1 to start, but once the number 2 comes in and gets even just a win, the number 2 becomes the number 1 real fast, and there's no change in goalies right now at any time. So I think there's like in Vegas's case, I think it was more a political thing. Like DeBoer openly just doesn't like Fleury, but in the Bishop case, I don't think it has anything to do with a personality clash or a favoritism. I think it was just Khudobin's playing out of this world. How can you not start him? You'd start an uprising in the dressing room,
Oh, well, definitely right now, yes. But I mean, like going back to when this thing first started, I was hearing of Dallas's training camp that they were doing that Bishop was okay, but they just didn't feel like he was, they were giving a wait and see mentality. And man, I tell you what, you're right. When he got shelled, he didn't look like he could move. He couldn't move side to side. He was getting beat real easy, But Khudobin, give it to him. He's a
battler.
He's a veteran. He's a great backup, and he is just carrying the team. And he's making up for a lot of Dallas's weaknesses. And
not to bash Vegas much here, but having Vegas play against the Canucks, against Markstrom and Demko, and then having them go in against Khudobin, and they got a guy like Reeves. They got some big carrier. They got some big, tough, strong guys. And, I think it would have been worth the 5-minute major to take one of those 2 goalies out, to be perfectly honest. Back in the day, there'd be some rattling of the goalie, and taking some chances just to shake it up a little bit. So I was just surprised Vegas didn't get more physical with the goaltenders. I thought it was a big mistake by them not to especially after going through what they went through with Demko and Markstrom, they should have, bowled them over a few times. So I think that was a big difference in that.
Let me run this question by our panel of experts. I'm here again. This is Slapshot, and we're talking about a preview of the 2020 Stanley Cup Finals. A couple of you guys have actually been in locker rooms, and you understand what it's like to be a professional athlete. So this is for everybody. But Lofty, I'd like you to take this first.
Sure.
I was watching the Dallas Calgary game. In fact, I had money. I had $5, more than $5 on Calgary. And with 11 seconds left, I think the score was 3-2. The Dallas Mavericks, this is going back, 3 weeks ago. And the Dallas Stars put one in the net with 11 seconds left and went in overtime. And I just watched that bench, and there was just something like it lit a fuse. That team changed from that moment forward. That was a dead team. It was average at best goaltending, just a lackluster team from all the way down. No one thought they would do anything. And then from that moment forward, that team came alive. Now, my question is this. Patrick Day, you're from St. Louis. You know what the Blues did last year. They were a team of destiny. And there are teams in sports, the Washington Nationals in baseball last year, left for dead at midseason. They come and win the World Series of Baseball. A couple of years ago, the Vegas Golden Knights, a team of destiny. What is it about in the locker room when you start believing you can do it, you can win? Are the Stars possibly a team of destiny is my question. What do you say, Lofty?
Well, I think that's a really good question. There's so much parity in the game today. There's just so much parity in the game that anybody can knock anybody out, I think, anyway, no matter what. Even the teams that aren't in the playoffs this year, have some good capabilities in that. But, as far as a team of destiny, possibly, time will tell. But there's no doubt in my mind that, having Rick Bohonis behind the bench, I've read some articles. They really like him. They want to play for him. They probably never haven't felt this relaxed and loose in all year. In the last number of years, I know Jamie Benn and Sagan have had some issues in Dallas. My best friend or best buddy was Kurt Fraser, who was the assistant coach with Dallas a couple of years ago. And I was down there, and there was a lot of challenges down there. But I think they're just pulling it together. Right now they've got some guys that are great leaders in there with Pavelski. Obviously the goalie's just standing on his head, like Neil said. He's just been a difference maker for them, and fun to watch. But my guess is they're not going to be destined to win. I really think that Tampa Bay's too deep, too strong. I love their goalie. Defense is just fantastic, and their big line is going to do a lot of damage, I think, against Dallas.
Well, if I can respond, Lofty's wearing a Hurricanes hat there. He was convinced the Hurricanes were going to win the Cup, so I'm not going to take it too seriously here, but
I bought it. I'm wearing it.
The Dallas Stars. It's like you said. They might be a team of destiny. Things change from game to game. The momentum doesn't always carry on from game to game. You can lose 5-1 and come back and win the next game, but it's not like they've beaten some bad teams. They beat arguably the best player in the world, McKinnon, on the Avalanche. They're a high-flying, powered offense. They knocked them off. Nobody thought they would. Then they beat Vegas Golden Knights. Nobody thought they would. Tampa Bay kind of has done what they were kind of expected to do. If you look at the beginning of the season, they were probably the number one favorite to win the whole Cup was Tampa Bay. And last year, they were the number one favorite, right? And so is it really a surprise that Tampa Bay is there? No. But is it a surprise Dallas is? Yeah, but they're beating good teams, and I think they're going to be ready. And I think this is going to be a great series. And, obviously for personal reasons, I'm hoping for Dallas. But they're, like you said, Nolan, there might be something to this team of destiny. They believe, and everybody's playing. Jamie Benn's playing the best hockey, their captain, that he's been playing in a while, and everybody's fired up. It wasn't too long ago. Their owner called their players out, Sagan and Ben, for not trying, or I don't know, kind of just called the Stars out, Radulov, the Stars on the Stars, for kind of just coasting, midway through the season or even in February or whatever. And, they were supposed to do better than they have, and boom, now they're gelling, and, they got two really good defensemen, not as good as the Tampa defenseman Hedman, but they're playing. It's going to be a tough series to win. I that could go 7 games.
Seven games pays 3.10 online. I'm just looking at it. It's fun to look at just all the bets that 4 games is 6.5. These are like Canadian style odds, not US style. I could do the conversion, but yeah, just multiply it. It's easy. It's very European. 6 games is 3, so 2 to 1 plus 200. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Just sort of for me, just picking a spot here and then cheering for it. Dallas, you're going to get some numbers on them. I've got 2.7 for them to win. So I think I gotta take that side. For me, part of me wants what I really want is to see Steve Stamkos get to play in this series. I remember back in 2014 and he got injured and didn't get to go to Sochi. And so, the gold medal team goes over there and crushes it. And now he's got a chance to to play for the Stanley Cup, and the same thing. It's like a horse racing situation where you've got to be in shape and ready to go and in the right form when the big race comes. And it just seems that Steve Stamkos never gets that opportunity. So I'm hoping to see him play. That's the thing I want to see, just for the feel good bubble story.
Yep. Yeah, just one more note, if I could just say, I think Tampa's the team of destiny. I'll tell you why. They got knocked out 4 straight last year, and they got long memories, man. And like I said, Stamkos is standing on the sideline right now. Those guys want to win it for him just as much as they want to win it for themselves, and they are not going down easy. And I don't know if you guys watch Survivor. I watch Survivor, but this is definitely the Survivor Stanley Cup. It's amazing what they're going to be in there 2 months, in a bubble, and they're not, neither one of these teams are going to go down without a big fight. There's no doubt about it, but fun to watch, and the sacrifices these guys have made is just amazing. And, it's great that they've been able to put this on, and a lot of fun to watch. But I think Tampa's your horse on this one.
All right, Patrick Day, is Dallas a team of destiny?
I think that they're a good team. Last year they made it to the second round and lost to a 7-game series to the Blues. Great. They've got a good team. They've got a deep team, a kind of deep team. I think it ends right now. I think that Tampa Bay is the much better team. They're deeper. They've got a little bit more experience. They got more goaltending. I think Vasilevsky's probably going to win another Vezina, and he should top this year with a Stanley Cup. Hudobin's a great story. I think Hudobin's a player of destiny a little bit, but other than that, no, I think Tampa Bay is it. They've got the horses. They've got 4 strong lines with St. Louis born player Pat Maroon going up to 4, who also has a chance to win 2 Stanley Cups in 2 years.
That was a great pickup. That was a great pickup. I love that pickup. He's a gritty guy that knows how to win.
Huge pickup for $900K. Didn't make sense here in St. Louis, but yeah, huge pickup. He's gonna tell them, hey boys, third period, right? Let's get in front of the net a little bit. He can he'll make a play. He'll get a screen. He'll take a big hit. But I think Dallas, hey, it kind of ends right now. It's going to be I agree with Scott. It's going to be a good series. It's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. But man, I really think Tampa Bay, they also don't look like they have the pressure that they had on them last year. Last year they got swept and floored by Columbus. And this year they just looked like, hey, we don't have that pressure of being the top team, or, hey, it's a Stanley Cup or bust. They just come out there and they kind of just play, and they have a good time. We saw that video back when we started, Nolan, of the 5 overtime thriller when we were doing that video.
That's right. It was we were doing a watching party. That's right. Yeah. Our first show was a watching party with 5 overtimes. Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Yeah.
And that started off the playoffs. They're in a divot going for 5 overtimes. I'm telling you, I think Tampa Bay, they don't have any pressure on them right now. They look like they're just going through the motions, and I think they got the team to beat. They're the team that's going to be hoisting the cup.
Oh, they're the odds-on money favorite, no doubt about it. 100%. if you can get even money 1-to-1 and you take which team, I mean, at this point you're taking, Tampa Bay. Absolutely. You're right. Everything you said there, they got the horses. They, what Lofty said about they lost 4 straight to Columbus last year. I mean, the odds, Scotty, the odds on that. Columbus sweeping Tampa last year. I heard they were like 55-1 that bet.
I remember looking at that. It was the same thing with Pittsburgh. And if you had both those teams to get swept in the first and parlayed it, it was just a ridiculous number.
Astronomical. Yeah, they got swept by the Islanders last year, right? Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to get to our best bets and those kind of things here in just a moment. Before we do that, let me ask one more. I've got to be negative. I've got to do the hater thing. Okay, I might as well be the bad guy here. But does COVID, the very fact that we had kind of a shortened season, an interruption, a very different year, does COVID and these bubble games, the question, does it taint the winner? And I'm going to read a quote to you, by the way. I'm going to read a quote to you from our site, Pointspreads.ca. This was a quote that we got from the Miami Heat coach, Eric Spoelstra, the coach of the Miami Heat. You're saying, why is he rambling? Why is he talking about the Miami Heat? And the reason is because the NBA is also like the NHL. They're playing in a bubble. And so Spoelstra, the coach of the Heat, was asked, is it going to taint the winner, the fact that it was a short season? And here's what the coach of the Miami Heat said. He said, there shouldn't be an asterisk next to this season. In fact, there should be a special commendation because it shows that talk about a team sport. You've got to stay in the same hotel, eat the same meals, stay together for a couple of months. Talk about a team game. This is the ultimate test of a team and sportsmanship. This is what the coach of the Miami Heat said. Now we're talking about hockey. Agree or disagree with that? Is there any taint on the cup? Who wants to field that one?
Lofty, let him start.
Lofty.
Oh, me, I got to go first. I got to go first again.
Yeah.
I read that comment. Nolan, you were kind enough to send it earlier, and I thought about it. And it was it's a great comment. It's a great quote. And thinking through all that, I 100% agree with that Miami Heat coach. I think it's like I said. I said earlier, it's like a Survivor Stanley Cup. It's pretty intense. I mean, for a fan's perspective, I could see maybe not as much enthusiasm or excitement for the game itself, not being at the rink, being involved as much as they'd like to be. But as far as an ex-player, or I think any player in the NHL right now would probably give huge kudos to whoever comes out of this Survivor Stanley Cup, and sacrifices what they've had to sacrifice for the last 2 months. And I believe in the final, Maroon will get to Khudobin. And I'm telling you, that number one line will get to Khudobin also. But so 100%. I think it should be a commendation more than an asterisk as a ex-player.
Well, like you said, I mean, either way, people are going to comment on it not being the norm. And there's people in the camp saying, wow, it's not really, I mean, put the asterisk. But there's other people that are saying this cup is the hardest cup that it's ever been won, where, you're not with your family, you're in a bubble for 2 months, like there's an argument for both sides. I don't think it deserves an asterisk at all, because who's to say this isn't a tougher Stanley Cup to win than all the years past? I mean, it's like a March Madness NCAA style tournament kind of, and that's lasted for 2 months with no, nurturing or from family and wives and whatever the norm is. They're in Edmonton, with their entire team for 2 months. Like, that's a long time, and battling. I think this Stanley Cup is every bit as deserve it as all the other Stanley Cups.
I'm sorry, Greg. You're saying it's terrible to spend 2 months in Edmonton?
They're lucky it's not winter there, or it'd be freezing, I mean, but no, it's not terrible. It's just different, right? And I don't think it's easier by any means to to be just out of your element on the road. You're basically the term I'm looking for is on the road. You're on the road for 2 full months, and without a little break, without a week here, a week there, you're on the road for 2 months, battling every single day in something that's totally not the norm. And so, you know, I personally don't think there should be an asterisk beside this cup at all. The bubble cup, as some people say, or, you know, the term that the Miami Heat coach used, but it's definitely different. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, we're all happy to have it. You think back 2 months ago, how starved we were for sports, especially as a bunch of gamblers sitting there on this panel. We were just, you know, I was gambling on anything. It was nuts. All of a sudden, I just got, you know, just the plethora of sports just all come back. So this has been a wonderful thing just for the fans in general at home, right? No one can get out to the games, but, you know, how great is it that these guys all came out to play this out? You know, they all could have voted, let's not do this, but everybody wants that shot at the cup. And the quality of the hockey's been exceptional. You know, it hasn't been like the crowd not fueling it and all that has made a difference. You're watching it. This is they've been going hard. It's been great hockey.
I got it home. Don't need it.
Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be like an asterisk. I don't think that I agree that this is a little bit, you know, it's special. It's a special tournament. I mean, I agree with Scott. I was kind of jonesing for games there for a bit, and to have, you know, when the NHL came out and said, hey, we're going to do this tournament, we're going to expand our teams, we're going to isolate into two bubbles. You know, we were looking at, like, you know, there was a week, 10 days there where we were having like 4 games a day on, and we're like, yes, this is what we want. We want to watch all this hockey. And we're going from noon to midnight watching hockey.
Yeah, some of that was so weird. I remember waking up and it was just a brilliant sunny day in Vancouver. I said, it's Thursday at 11 a.m. in early August. You know what that means? Canucks hockey.
Yeah, I mean, and just to give a little perspective, you know, 100 years ago, 1919, the Stanley Cup was played versus Montreal and Seattle, and during that year they had the Spanish influenza. That was a pandemic that traveled the globe right after World War I, and they couldn't finish the playoffs. There was players on both sides that were sick, and they imprinted on the cup. You know, tournament canceled, tournament not postponed, and both sides didn't want to. You know, both sides still wanted to play, but they both had players that couldn't go because they contacted this disease. Now we go 100 years in the future now, and we have the same thing, and we have the opportunity to see NHL playoff hockey. Granted, being in July and August, now September. I mean, I think it's lucky. I don't think there should be an asterisk. I think it's, like Mark said, it's way harder. You're stuck in a bubble. Your options are limited. You're not seeing your family. I think that this is having something like that takes some context, and we're going to be, hopefully we never see something like this again.
All right, Patrick, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patrick. Go ahead and finish. Excuse me.
No, this is special to see, and I don't think they're going to get a pat on the back, but they're going to, we're going to look back in this in 5 and 10 years and say, hey, look what we have. And this type of format might be coming to the NHL and changing a little bit. So, it leads to, maybe this bubble will lead to, better hockey or a better tournament coming up in the next few years.
All right. So just a second. I got to ask this. I'm on the edge of my seat here. I'm going to ask a real sick question. I'm on the edge of my seat here. So what happened in 1919? Who ended up winning the cup, man? I mean, what's on the cup? Do I got to Wikipedia this in the middle of the show? Like seriously, what happened 100 years ago? Who won the fucking cup? I want to know.
Nobody. It says on the Stanley Cup, tournament postponed.
Oh, there's no winner. They didn't call it for whoever had the advantage, and whatever Montreal didn't win. Montreal Maroons or whatever they were at the time.
It was Montreal versus Seattle.
But
So
the Maroons
Maroons
are the Canadians.
I believe
You remember the Montreal
Canadians.
Maroons? They dominated the teens, man.
Well, that's why you got to honestly. I mean, you have to take your hat off to Bettman. I mean, not one positive case since they've been in the bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all the other sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey never had to interrupt since they had the whole thing about when they come to Canada, they got a quarantine. They timed everything. They really took their time to put together a formula where foreigners that entered the country had to quarantine. You could quarantine together, but you had to be away testing every single day. Everybody gets tested multiple times. And once they started, they moved to the bubble. There's been thousands and thousands and thousands of tests every single day. Not one person broke the bubble. Not one person left to go to the bar or to, take care of their own needs, whatever that may be. Everyone was, everyone respected each other as a team, as people, as a league. And there haven't been not one case, and never mind postponing of games or delayed. I mean, that's pretty impressive. When this first happened, how many people thought, wow, when one person gets it, it's getting shut down. When one person breathes on the other one, the whole team's going to be quarantined. Like, come on, this is silly. I have to give Bettman and the committee who organized this full credit. They did a masterful job planning this in such short time, impromptly, to make it happen. And it's been amazing. Like, I mean, from that standpoint of no, would you guys not agree with that? Or
Well, not only that, Bettman and the Players Association got their deal done very quietly while this was all going down. I mean, usually player agreements, usually those rumors spread out, and there's contacts on both sides that they want certain things, and they quietly got that signed while they were getting this bubble put together. So I got to give Bettman a little bit of credit for that.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, I agree, Mules. And just on another thing is, hockey players are, I guess I'm a little biased, but I think a special breed. Guys, they live to play that game 7, to play in the Stanley Cup. And there's such a, I don't want to say an innocence to hockey with the hockey players and how they treat it respectfully. And the players have been remarkable. I think we've only had a couple instances where you've got a couple guys that go, well, yeah, I'm going to sit it out, and I don't know. I think they're probably regretting that decision, by sitting out, but I know I wouldn't be sitting out having that opportunity. But it's been great. The NHL's done a great job. Bettman, the players themselves, coaches, and the staff, and both Edmonton and Toronto put on a great show for sure.
All right, so I'm going to hold you to the final question. Will be in a moment. You're not going to answer that question yet. Let me make it clear. Don't answer this question yet. But the Tampa Bay, if you look at spreads.ca, that's Canada's newest, friendliest, and most extensive betting menu you will find at spreads.ca. You'll find the current odds are Tampa Bay minus 200. Roughly got to wager $200 to win back 100 on the Tampa Bay Lightning if you think they'll win the series, and the Dallas Mavericks coming back at about plus 170. Give or take $1 or $2.
They're gonna put the skates on, the Mavericks?
Did I say the Mavericks? Did I say the Mavericks? Really? Excuse me. The Dallas Stars. I'm caught in the NBA here, so NBA thing. That's what happens when you got five sports going on at once. So anyway, so Dallas Stars plus 170. Thanks for the correction. So, all right. So the question is, before we get to the final one, which is, give me your pick on the Stanley Cup and how many games. Don't do that yet. That's going to be the next question. This question is about player props. Anything you see on the betting menu at spreads.ca or any other site for that matter. What is a standout, like, hey, all these games are going to go under. All these games are going to go over. Watch for this player to win MVP. Any kind of a prop that you've looked at and like, give us your best play here.
I think unders are going to be pretty. I mean, these goalies I mean, the firepower's on both sides, but the goalies, no one's breaking. When it gets down to this, you know, under 5, you start giving me under 5, I'm taking that every time.
Yeah, I mean, the regular season, you see total 6, 6.5 on a regular basis. You see a few 7s lingering around, and but the playoffs is so tight. Everything's tight. You just, chances are far and few between, and it wouldn't surprise me if you see a few 4.5s hung up on some of these lines.
Wow.
So no one likes to bet the under. The Sharps like to bet the under, but fans like to watch. They want to cheer. They don't want to cheer for the clock to end and nobody to score. They want to high five when someone scores, right? So people like to bet the over, right? So the over is always a little bit inflated. And you know, like Scott says, if they leave it at 5, I mean, these games are 1-1, 2-1. They're such tight games, right? It wouldn't surprise me if they made one of them a 4.5 at some point.
Yeah, I'm not too good at the under over any of that stuff, so I'll leave that up to Scott and Mules and Pat. But I'm going to bet Hedman wins the MVP. How's that? That's the only bet I got. Conn Smythe, Hedman.
I like that.
It's a great bet. It's a great. He's been unreal. He's really been unreal.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's got 3 goals or so, and there's a record that's in play for him.
I think he's got 8 or 9, doesn't he?
9. He's got 9 right now. He's tied with like Bobby Orr and all these guys. He's 3 off the all-time record. And I mean, I think Paul Coffey has the all-time record of 12, I believe. I'm not a stats guy like that.
That's what I was going to say too. Yeah.
And but don't forget his era when Paul Coffey won it. I mean, it was a goal factory. Like, you want to talk about over totals. The totals back then, I mean, I don't know in the playoffs, but the regular season, they hung up 8s. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers of those days, they'd be down 3-0 in the first. They'd still be a favorite because they'd win 8-4. You know, it was. I mean, there was no defense. The goaltenders were tiny. I mean, it was just goals. I mean, Hedman's doing this in an era where the games are 1-1, which shows you how, like Lofty said, what a monster he is, actually.
Yeah, he's playing like 30 minutes a game or whatever it is, too. He's out there all day long. And, you know, I mean, just the stats alone are unbelievable. But defensively, he contains the play so well. He's made such a difference and fun to watch. I've never really watched him a lot, but to watch him do what he does game in, game out is pretty impressive. So, by the way, is there odds on him winning do they have a bet like that?
I think they definitely will. Probably come out tomorrow, the next day. You'll start to see it, but it'll be soon for sure. They're crunching away, I'm sure, at all the odds making.
Well, if Dallas wins the cup, I can assure you that Hodovan would probably win the Conn Smythe if they won 2-1, if they won games like that. I can't see Hedman winning the cup just because of what Hudobin's done. But if Tampa Bay wins the cup, that'd be a smart bet, Lofty, to put a little bit on Hedman to win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, Maroon, like I said, Maroon's going to get to Godobin, so not worried about Godobin.
Patrick, you have any thoughts on the any props or totals?
I've seen a couple lines. I've seen for some prop bets. I've seen Tampa Bay winning Game 1 plus 525 to win in regulation by 1 goal. So 3-2, 2-1. In the playoffs, I believe 10 of their wins have been by 1 goal. So
that has to be in regulation, though, or can that include OT?
In regulation.
So they can't be tied 1-1 and win an OT in order to win this bet.
Correct. I've also seen, I've seen a couple individual players getting goals. I got for Game 1, and this is just for Game 1. I've seen Gord getting looks like plus 410 to get a goal, to get 1 goal. I like that. I like Radulov at plus 490. That's not too bad. I think Radulov, he's a pure scorer, and for him to get 490, I'll take that.
It's not to get opening goal. It's just to get a goal.
A goal.
Yeah, usually they put it up first, last, or anytime, but those are fun, right? It's just an independent sweat outside the game, just watching one guy.
Well, if he played 5 games, would he score 1 goal? If the answer is yes, then you're getting fair value, right? I mean, you have to look at it like that. I mean, or even more if he played 6. If he's getting plus 490, then if he played 6 games and scored 1 goal, you'd almost be breaking even. So I mean, is the answer yes to that? Probably, with a guy like Radulov, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just for game 1. I haven't seen anything past game 1, but yeah, I'm liking those numbers for, like I said, Tampa Bay plus 525 to win 1 goal in regulation. So like a 3-2, 4-5. I think that's they're like I said, 9 of their wins have been 1 goal games, and I believe 6 of them have been in regulation. So. That's not too bad. I'll take that.
All right, real good advice there from all of our experts. I'll give you my pick. I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to – wait a minute. No wonder I can't cash a ticket because I'm betting on the wrong sport, the wrong team. Here we go. Stanley Cup 2020. You're going to give us your final pick here. It's easy to pick the Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 200. Is that really the play, or the Dallas Stars at plus 170? Who's going to be etched on that trophy at the very end? We'll start with you, Patrick Day. We'll go all the way around.
I like Tampa Bay. I like them winning in 6. I think that they got the lines, and they got the coach, and they got the goaltender. I think they'll take it in 6.
Johnny?
I like the same thing. I like Tampa Bay to hoist the Naismith Trophy in 6.
Lofty.
Me? Oh, I
Now
got
that the Hurricanes are out, what do you say?
Well, Dallas. No, hang on a second. Obviously, I've been a little bit biased here, but yeah, no. I mean, the team of destiny is the Tampa Bay Lightning, or Buccaneers, as Nolan would like to say.
Depends on how many drinks I've had.
How many games, Lofty? How many games does it take them?
I'm going. Hey, I'm with Pat. Pat stole my thunder. They're going to go in 6. They're going to hand the trophy to Stamkos. He'll pass it on to Hedman, and book it.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the Lone Ranger on the panel. I'm going with the Dallas Stars, and I'm going to go Dallas in 7.
All right.
Dallas in 7.
That'll be a lot of fun.
I mean, that's not necessarily an all-brain prediction. There's a little bit of heart in there, since I don't really want to see Tampa Bay win, because I got a lot of friendly little bets with guys like Lofty. So, I'll be cheering for Dallas for sure.
How's your hockey betting gone so far, Greg?
Actually, it's gone very well, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I bet on Vancouver pretty much throughout the playoffs until they got to Vegas, and I basically just sat out and picked the odd game to jump on them against Vegas, and they won those games. So I've been sort of dialed into these playoffs. I'm not making an actual bold statement to bet Dallas. I'm just rooting for them to win for my own financial interest. But up until the Stanley Cup, up until these bets that I made where I took Vegas must win versus the Bolts with guys like Lofty, I was looking good. But now I'm getting free rolled here.
All right,
You're betting with your heart again there. You're betting with your heart again there, Niels.
All right, we'll be tune in next time here on Slapshot to hear Greg Mueller's bad beat story. Hey guys, we may do a watching party. Let's see. Let's hope this baby goes 6 or 7 games. We'll do it again. Great panel. Mark Lofthouse, Greg Mueller, Scott Wilson, Patrick Day. What a great panel. I had a fabulous time. And for those of you watching in Canada, check out Pointspreads.ca and check out Spreads.ca. Get some action down. I know I'm going to bet. I think I'm going to bet the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. I think that's the play. Sorry, Greg.
You're jumping on the wagon. Hey, all 4 of you guys said the Bolts in 6. Hey, I got news for you as a sports bettor. The public never wins. And all 4 of you guys like the Bolts in 6. That bodes well for me.
Great show, gentlemen. See you next time. See you here back on Slapshot. I'm Nolan Dalla at Pointspreads.ca. Check out the action. Good night and thank you. Good luck.